As a parent, you want your kid to be perfect, you know? Michael was 4 months preemie, so he's barely a pound, and has a bone deformity in his arm, and that's perfect, right?
So Michael had a very complex deformity, as you can see by the shape of his hand and his forearm. Not only was he missing part of the radius, which is the bone here, he also had a lot of deformity that developed in the ulna of this bone here. So this very short and abnormal radius has allowed the hand to grow almost at a 90-degree angle to the rest of the forearm. This is a complex deformity that very few teams can tackle. And this is something that we do primarily with the hand team, because they manage the soft tissues of the forearm and we help with the deformity correction and the stabilization of the forearm.
His hand and wrist was orientated backwards. So we were waiting for 3 or 4 years for the bones to grow enough to be able to do the procedure.
When we came the first time, he was not really emotionally ready for that. He was not participating. He was like, why are you gonna do this? My arm is perfect.
We always take a child-driven approach here, so if a patient tells us that they are not interested in surgery, that they don't want surgery, then that's where it stops. And that was true with Michael at first. He initially told us that he loved his arm the way that it was, and so we sort of slowed down the preparation process in order to respect his opinions.
It goes without saying that a big part of a surgical reconstruction like this is the psychology team here at Scottish Rite. So a lot of mental preparation from a patient standpoint to commit to what could very likely be at the least a 4 to 6 month intervention.
I think it was great to wait another year, because emotionally he was more like, you know, okay, this is gonna help me. And all that year we were preparing him more.
Operations this complex are usually set up in stages, and so Dr. Oishi and the limb deformity correction team took him to the operating room and made sure that the bones were ready to be moved by releasing some of the soft tissues, and actually applied the fixator so that we could stretch some of the tissues and then allow for sort of the second stage where the bone is replaced, if you will. So we used a bone from his leg called the fibula to try and impart healthy soft tissue or healthy bone to get or encourage his forearm to heal.
2 bones were separated. So the doctor, Podeswa, he had to connect these 2 bones. I wrapped my daddy's fingers are the bones, and then he had to connect them.
Michael was very into it. Like, he was very interested. He was participating. He was asking everything.
And is that gonna be all?
Take all those pillow things out. Yep.
Oh!
There it is!
Done!
So cool.
Dude, look at that!
Michael was a little bit hesitant at first when his frame was first on, but he very quickly blossomed.
Our goal when we have a fixator on for 6 or 9 months is that it really becomes part of their daily routine. And Michael has taken that to a whole nother level as far as being able to do everything he wants to do on a daily basis and really own it.
Mom sent a picture of him on a bike, which to us and many kids is a natural sort of course, but he could never do it because his forearm was so unstable. And he was so proud that he could ride this, even though he had this big fixator on, he rode his bike and his forearm was straight.
He's gotten a lot more mature, and like it's just a stronger sense of self, and he's able to use both hands more.
We definitely saw a huge difference. He was able to move his fingers and to just have that normal life.
He was referred because they couldn't offer him what we could here, which is several teams to be available, the limb lengthening team as well as our team to perform the bony transplant, also child life, as well as occupational therapists.
Yeah, Dr. Podeswa, Dr. Hirsch, Dr. Oishi, Dr. Stutz, all of the people that were in and around surgery that I never got to know, the nameless angels at Scottish Rite,
Can I help you with this stopper? Can I pull this one up?
One of the biggest things is that it just really is behind him, so he feels ready for the next chapter of life.